and I play video games for you. Today I'm continuing my Sega education and playing a classic from the Mega Drive and Game Gear days. This is Ristar, the shooting star. And yes, that is how you pronounce it, in case there was any debate. I might get into that later, but it's kind of tedious. Anyway, this game was released on the Mega Drive, and also simultaneously a version was put out on the Game Gear. Now, what I'm actually playing today is a conversion of the Game Gear game to the Master System format to enable it to have a larger screen size. Now, that is going to cause some graphical weirdness from time to time. Like you can see trees on the edge of the screen in space. Basically, the middle section of the screen is what you would have seen on a Game Gear, but there's a whole bunch of hacks for Game Gear games available on smspower.org that make them playable on the Master System because the two hardware systems were really compatible in a lot of ways, and there are a lot of ports between them officially, but there's also these unofficial hacks done by fans to expand the screen, basically, is the advantage of it. And yeah, you'll see what I mean when we continue, but oh, the demo screen. Yeah, well, this is what the game looks like, but I'd rather play it myself than let the computer do it. So let's start on that, shall we? Yeah, so Ristar. I chose Ristar. Oh, what's going on? Hold on a second. Sorry. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Somehow I have to pick where we are. Okay. Yeah, I guess when I reset OBS, it went back to the default view. That's okay. I don't think anything was lost. Yes, unprofessional streaming. Yeah, I'm real cool. Hello, Gibbon. Good to see you. Now the screen's just black. I think that might be the wrong one. Yeah, that is the wrong one. I haven't renamed these things in ages. Yeah, this is it. Window 1. Perfect. Okay. Full. I used to rename them and then I just stopped doing it because it was too much hassle. But anyway. Yeah, that's the game. Hey. Oh no, that doesn't look right. Okay. No, that does look right. Alright. We're all good. Let's get started. Start button? Yes. Okay. What's in options? Just out of interest. Ah yes, password. Famously, this game has a lot of passwords. To skip levels, to give you invincibility and all sorts of things. But there should be a sound test as well. Lovely. Yeah, Sega games sometimes have these cool little graphics that are unique to the sound tests. Super Princess Peach has one as well. It's just the first thing that came to mind with Peach playing in a band. Yeah, since this is the Master System, we've got 2 buttons, 1 and 2, and 1 also doubles for start, which is a problem for some of the hack conversions that I mentioned, because the Game Gear itself had 1 and 2 and an additional button for start, so sometimes functionality does not always 100% carry over. But yeah, here we are in Planet Near. Now, you'll notice that Planet Near means, and of course the subtitle on the title screen, Ristar, the shooting star, both those indicators that we're playing the Japanese version. There's a lot of debate, of course, over which version is better for the Mega Drive. There's a lot of small changes that make the two of them kind of different experiences in small ways. But as for the Game Gear one, it's a bit more cut and dry. The main difference is that one of the stages was cut out of the international release for the Game Gear version. So if you want the full experience of the game, including 1 extra level, you're going to play the Japanese release, and you don't really lose anything else. There's not as many trade-offs as there are on Mega Drive. Aha. Oh, something's on me. A little bomb. I got it off. Okay, so if you don't know anything about Ristar, this is the original Mega Drive one was a game made by Sonic Team, sort of. They weren't called Sonic Team at the time, but it's the team at Sega who was responsible for Sonic the Hedgehog and You might notice some design similarities, even if just the intro graphic for the start of the stage. Yes. But as compared to Sonic the Hedgehog, Ristar plays very differently. It's not about going fast and momentum and speeding through stages. It's a lot more technical, slow-paced, and using Ristar's arms to interact with the environment in a really cool way. And yes, they stretch out. That's his thing. Oh, that's new. So already we've seen a few new things. The planet environment looks similar to what we've got on the first Mega Drive stage. The name is the same as well. But the fact that there's stars everywhere as a collectible pickup is unique to the Game Gear version. Yeah, there's an interesting development history with the two, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Let's just get acquainted with the game first of all. I'm assessing how well the Master System conversion is working out. I do really enjoy having a larger screen space to see what's coming up, but there is a little bit of an issue that other sprites, such as enemy sprites, are not drawn until they're inside the Game Gear window, you could say. But I think it feels much more open and nice to me to have the biggest screen up, so it's pretty good. That rabbit, I don't remember seeing them too much, but then again. So yeah, I'm playing Ristar because it was chosen by Nova, our friend at the Game Club, for us to play and discuss together for this month. And I was in Japan until recently in this month, so I managed to, well, I started it later than others, but I think I've managed to finish it where not everyone maybe has. So yeah, I've played through the whole Mega Drive version now, so I'll be able to compare it to this one pretty well. And yes, that mechanic, well, a lot of the mechanics so far. Oh, a triple star, okay. On Mega Drive, you get a blue star that refills all your health. A red star. Okay, that's invincibility. What's the invincibility on normal, on Mega Drive? What is it? I think it's a flashing star, yeah. Now this wall of breakable blocks, that's new. I think so far all the enemy designs, except for that one with a yellow hat, have been not new, reused. And yeah, you can pass up through certain platforms. Oh, what's this? Is that a Sega Saturn symbol? What did that do? Did that give me an extra life? I think it did. On Mega Drive, your extra lives are little Ristar statues. Oop. Okay. The idea with the end of round ring, you spin around it and then fling yourself off. That's just a core mechanic of the game. But you try to get high into the air from your spin, and then you get more points coming off the end. But there doesn't appear to be... Oh, there's a score there, yeah, okay. It's not as upfront about it. Mega Drive had the score up on screen all the time. Alright, Gibbons schooling me in chat. We were having a conversation before the stream started about Castlevania and the timeline and the new Ritual of the Night Bloodstained game that's out, which is sort of part of the same series. Oh, that's really interesting. So Gibbon's talking about lucky eruptions. Some volcanoes erupted in 1780 something, he said. 1783, that put a giant ash cloud over the world for a few years. It was quite literally a dark time. During this time period, Mary Shelley attended the infamous party with her fellows and originated Frankenstein. And also Polidori wrote The Vampire. Or, he's correcting himself, she wrote it a bit later than that, around that era. But Shelley wrote about her experiences during the eruption, which is what he was confusing it with. So yeah, it seems like these volcanic eruptions that covered the world in darkening clouds kind of inspired a few people. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Given thinking that was a Sega Saturn symbol, which is odd. I didn't look at the timeline of that, but the Saturn definitely would not have been out by '94. I don't know. But yeah, he's saying Ristar on the Mega Drive is clearly based on the Sonic engine. And he's saying that this also evokes the handheld Sonic games. And he's also saying he loves how whimsical these games are. And I agree. That's one of the things I loved from my playthrough of Ristar that I've just wrapped up in my own time. Oh, a guy throwing a spear. I think that's new. Oh, and can I pick this up? Yes. Okay. So using objects from enemies as weapons, that's new for the Game Gear version. Oops. That little star. I'm just going to rewind a bit. I need that. Oops. Okay, so you can do a downward grab. And you do need to grab pickups. Because everything is about grabbing in this game. You grab to attack, you grab to interact, to move around. There's usually things in these holes, so I don't know what's going on there. So the Saturn symbol might have been an extra continue, which is a thing that you can also get on the Mega Drive version, but I don't think I ever actually got one. You mainly get them from doing well in the bonus stages, I think. But I only did 4 of those, and I don't think I did them particularly well. Oh, I love how much height you can get on that. I'm sure that's more height than you normally would get on Mega Drive. Feels good. It's probably really confusing on the Game Gear version, actually. Oh no, that thing disappeared. I'm gonna go back. I just want to see what it gives me exactly. So on such a small platform, the recoil is fierce. So did it give me extra health? No. Yeah, it might be a continue. Not sure. Oh, that's a good idea from a universe that never happened. Gibbon's longing for a hypothetical Ristar Advance that would be built on a Sonic Advance template. Yeah, that would be cool. So yeah, there is a bit of a history with the development of this game that I alluded to. And it is related to the Sonic handheld games. Nice health. Like this. Yeah, obviously the level designs here are new. I've heard that they are sometimes based on the Mega Drive version, but for the most part I think they're new. We'll see as we go on. If I remember what the Mega Drive ones looked like. Yeah, but anyway, the developer. Some places just say that it's Sega, but other people have done a bit of detective work. A lot of the names in the credits are pseudonyms, and the company itself was not credited, you know, on the title screen or anything, so maybe it could be a bit obscured, but yeah, the creator of this game is a company called JSH, or Japan Studio House. Whoop. Let me check I got that right. Japan System House, actually. Although they later changed the name to Biox, B-I-O-X. Oh wow, okay, so the boss round. Yeah, so Biox, they weren't around for long. They were basically working through the 90s. Yeah, so this boss is the same. At least in look. I think that's a different attack pattern, stunning me and then the little guy coming down and attacking. Yeah, we gotta dislodge that little guy. Because I think that's the idea with all these bosses is it's an inhabitant of one of the planets that Ristar is visiting who has been corrupted or something, or possessed by a minion of the evil villain who is called Greedy. And by defeating the little evil thing, I free that planet's leader. In this case, it's the guy that we saw in the intro who was praying to the star goddess to send Ristar. Oh, okay, so this is how bonus stages work. Okay, on Mega Drive, you find them as secret stages hidden within the levels, and then you get a treasure for beating them, and if you have enough treasures at the end, you get cheat codes. Okay. Okay, so they're expecting you to climb the walls with the grab, which I feel like is not something that the Mega Drive game really ever like required you to do. In fact, there were certain later stages that made me feel like using that technique kind of broke the stage the way they intended you to play it, which is odd. Yeah, I didn't do so well. But I'm not sure if treasures are in this version of the game. Good that they still have these interstitial cutscenes. These add a lot of character to the game. I like them a lot. Interesting how much you can see of those planets. Normally, I guess you'd only see the very corners of them on the Game Gear screen. Go, go. Okay, we're already in Planet Phantom, which means we're in the stage that was removed from international localizations, I believe. Yes, we're walking on clouds. I have a quote about this. So the main programmer and game director, who is known by the pseudonym Alice Kagamino, sometimes credited as Captain Alice, and you can find them on Twitter under Alice Kagamino. Let's see. So, yeah, when they were localizing the game, Sega of America came to the developer and said, you got to cut this stage and just go to the second stage of this world because, quote, American kids won't understand walking across clouds and rainbows. So they cut the stage. And that's from a translation of a tweet thread of Kagamino that was translated by people at the Game Developer Research Institute, GDRI. And yes, it's at like gdri.smspower.org, I think. So I don't know why it's on that a subpage for that, but maybe they just archived it. Anyway, I was doing some research for this game before. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So Gibbon's telling me that the reason I got to the bonus stage is because I collected those blue orbs, the Saturn logos, whatever they are. And there's one in each of the 2 stages of a planet. And he's also saying that the bonus rooms are very similar to the bonus rooms that you see in the Master System Sonics. So that's good. I haven't played those myself, but anyway, we're talking about Biox. I was talking about them. Oh, this is lovely. American kids won't understand walking on rainbows. Give me a break. Hadn't they made Rainbow Islands at this point, which is a game that's literally all about that? It's the sequel to Bubble Bobble. I played a sequel to that, a spin-off of that on stream. Putty's Party, which was on the black and white Wonder Swan, thereby removing all the colour from the rainbows, but, you know, oh well. Well, that thing's tough. Might have to grab it from behind. I was sort of inside its hitbox there. Okay, you gotta time your jumps right. Okay, whew. Lost a bit of health. Okay. Yeah, so Biox. They weren't around very long, but they made some interesting cool things while they were there, including one of the handheld Sonic games, and it was a spin-off. Whoopsie. Let's just undo that mistake. Maybe I can... Cool, okay, so it's 3 hits to kill them, that's the rule. Oh no, how do I get back up? Oh, nice. I'm sure that would not actually be possible on the Mega Drive version, that little maneuver I just pulled off. Could be if you grab the chest, maybe. Anyway, yeah, they did Tails Sky Patrol, which ironically actually is the least Sonic-like of the spin-off handheld ones, or not, 8-bit ones. You had Sonic 1 and 2 8-bit, you had Sonic Chaos, that was Sonic Blast, which had a weird pre-rendered sprite style. And then you had the 2 Tails games, so Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol, for which Sky Patrol was an unusual kind of thing in that it wasn't a platform game per se, it was more of a scrolling shooter. And it also introduced some, new lore specific to Tails that has never been seen again, like the bird army and witch cart as one of the bosses. One of the few female characters in the Sonic series. I'll add to that. Yeah, Ristar can't jump on things. His feet are not powerful. It is his arms that are powerful, even though he's wearing spiffy shoes. In early concept art, you can see that they look very similar to Sonic's shoes, actually. Not surprising, considering the lineage, but yeah, he looked a bit different originally. I've seen people say he looked a bit like a rabbit, but I don't know. He sort of looked similar to how he looked now, except with 2 flaps coming up off his head instead of a star shape for his yellow part of his body. And his name was Feel, F-E-E-L. And that was the name of the game as well. Pretty strange. Yeah, so Biox did Tails Sky Patrol, and I guess off the back of that, Sega gave them Ristar, although they had done other things like Shinobi for Sega, I think a Streets of Rage for the Game Gear as well. What else did they do? They later worked on another Sega property with a typing tutor game for PC based on the Puyo Puyo and Mado Monogatari franchise, which are the same. Yeah, that was pretty weird. But the other cool thing they did that I'd heard of was Rockman World 2. So this would be where you start on this planet. If you're playing the international version, you would miss out on all that cool cloud jumping. And you're on this pirate ship, which, well, both of those are completely unheard of in the Mega Drive version, so that's nice. Getting new content, I like that. I wasn't really looking at the level name, so I'm not sure if the planets... Yeah. I recall reading that the GG version had different planets. Wow. Whoa, look at that. What is that, a skull? Yeah, so pirate ship. Makes sense. Yeah, this is all new stuff. This is great. I'm really digging this. If the whole game was a clone of, Mega Drive Ristar with just maybe new level designs, that would be something at least. But this, all new environments and enemies and stuff. Very nice. And I got to admit, having minor collectibles scattered around makes it feel more traditional platform gamey, but that's not a bad thing. I do appreciate how it can lead you to some things or sort of guide the player, Take that. Yeah, frisbee hat. Yeah, so Rockman World 2, also known as Mega Man Roman numeral 2, was the sequel to... what was the subtitle of the first one internationally? It's like Dr. Wily's Revenge or something. Anyway, they got Minakuchi Engineering to do the first one, and then pulled in Biox for the second one. I guess maybe they were cheaper or something. Looks like I'm stuck on the lower route for now. There are sort of often routes to go through like in a Sonic game, and sometimes the upper route, gets you more pickups and bonuses and stuff. Yes, so Biox made the second one, Rockman World 2, It's the game that introduced Quint, the time-traveling version of Mega Man from the future. Oopsie. So this boss is all new. This is a sleeping tapir, to go with the old Japanese tradition that tapirs eat dreams and are associated with dreams and sleeping. Which also gets the Pokemon Drowsy, by the way. I think it's originally a Chinese like folklore thing, which was carried across. Is this bat the secret? Okay, I destroyed the bat. But this thing keeps sucking me in. Ouch. Yeah, so you got Quint and his jumping jackhammer thing. He comes back actually in the Wonder Swan only sequel to Rockman and Forte, which I do want to stream one time actually, because it's pretty cool. Japan exclusive. What's the deal? It feels like you got to throw the pillow at the thing, but that does nothing. I can't bounce off the bubbles while holding it, so I can't throw it at the bat, but destroying the bat, I guess I'll try destroying the bat again. Can I throw the pillow into the nose? Maybe if I threw it better, it would go in the nose. Let's try and get the bat there for now. Like this, and then... Oh, alright. Well, that didn't work. Oh, it did work. Okay. That was a hit, maybe? Yeah, so Rockman World 2, it, as with all the Game Boy Mega Man games, and in fact the Game Gear Mega Man game, it remixed content from 2 of the console titles. So the first one was Rockman 1 and 2 content, the second one used Rockman 2 and 3 content in terms of bosses and stages and stuff. And yeah, they did often have a bit of new stuff to them, like the Rockman Killers, Punk, Ella, and Ballard came through one by one in installments, until they got to Rockman World 5, which was all new bosses, new plot and everything, which is really nice. But yeah, the second one is always an outlier because it doesn't have one of the Rockman Killers in it. It instead has Quint, who was kind of forgotten about until he got his own sequel, which is pretty amazing. Anyway. Supposedly, Rockman World 2 was so badly received as an installment of the franchise that Biox was not asked back for the sequel, and they brought back Minakuchi Engineering for the first one to then do the next 3. I don't know what... Oh, maybe the bat covered up the lamp sometimes, which then made the tapir fall asleep, which meant you couldn't then attack it. But yeah, look how everything's gone gross and cursed, and a skull appeared when the tapir died. That's interesting. It's like that whole room was like a dream world, maybe, that the tapir was creating. It's an interesting little thing. I like this game. The Game Gear version is really fun. I don't know. Yeah, the Master System hack. There were always going to be graphical glitches. That was a necessary side effect. So, oh well. But I'm still glad I did it, I guess. Alright, so this world is the music world, where you bring a metronome through an obstacle course to get a bird out of your way. All of that stuff is taken straight from the Mega Drive version. That enemy, I've not seen that before, so that's new. Now, where did my metronome go? Did it just go in a straight line? It doesn't arc ballistically? Interesting. I wonder where it ended up. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, I'll bring it up. Yes. Yeah. So this was always cool, this instrument land. It reminds me of Rayman or Bubsy. I think Bubsy 2 had something like this, maybe. Yeah, a world made out of instruments and music notes and stuff. It's all abstract and wacky and cool. Don't really need to go on those platforms. Electrical blobs, that's new. Now on the Mega Drive version, if you dropped the metronome near a blob, it would pick it up and take it back to the start of the section. And you would have to redo it, which is pretty annoying. Don't know if that's the case here, but I'm going to avoid them anyway. Yeah, the little orbs, they're just for points. They looked a lot more large and crystalline on the Mega Drive version, the yellow things. They were basically the only collectible you could find apart from, you know, health ups and one-ups and such. Ah, I missed the metronome somewhere. But yeah, in the Mega Drive version, the gems looked a lot like Chaos Emeralds, actually, from Sonic 1. They do look different in later games. More gem cut, you know. The classic diamond-esque shape. Oh, what's going on here? How did I, like... am I supposed to backtrack like this? I guess so. Here it is. I don't know. I feel like I entered this area the wrong way, but oh well. Yeah. Oh, crap. I mean, whoops. Okay. Oh! Oh, I see. So drop it there and then traverse the lower path. It's a slow race. Uh-oh. Luckily, and this comes into play a lot on the Mega Drive version, while Ristar is grabbing, pulling himself forwards and bouncing back from that, he has invincibility frames for all that time, which is nice. I can throw it up, okay. I just tried that. No, you don't. I don't even know if you grab these things and run away with them, but I'm not taking the chance. What was that noise? Ah, don't touch the electricity. Oh, nuts. Okay, they don't steal them in this version. Good to know. Hey, happy with the metronome. I heard people complaining about the metronome sections, saying they were, you know, infamous. I didn't find them too bad. I thought they were a kind of fun little change of pace, you know, in terms of the gameplay. And these birds were there too. Okay, so it seems like some planets are much closer to what was there in the Mega Drive version, whereas some, like Planet 2 that we were just on, are completely new. So I guess the reason for that is down to another developer comment that I found in that same translation thread. According to Kagamino, which again is a pseudonym, we don't know their real name, I guess, but they still go by it online to this day. Also, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what their real identity is, but I guess they're secretive about it, code names and all. Anyway, so according to them, during the development, Sega had contracted them to make a Game Gear port of Ristar, and they wanted it to be released simultaneously. Is there a platform coming to meet me? So they were in development at the same time, but the teams weren't like hand in glove together. the team at JSH were being provided with partially completed ROMs of the game. Oops, no source code from what I heard. Let's forget that happened. Okay, that falls down. Okay, good. You do worry about games on, you know, more primitive systems that they might forget about an object if it's off screen. It does happen. Come on. Alright. Okay, this is the mini boss. So we're down from 3 heads on Mega Drive to 2 heads. This is one of the changes that you notice between the regional revisions of the game. On Mega Drive, these birds will give you a bit of warning before they poke their head down with a little musical note appearing over their head. And that was removed in the international version, so it's a little bit more difficult. But apart from that, a lot of the changes on the Mega Drive version are pretty cosmetic. Humorously, almost every enemy in the game and Ristar himself were given what's called the American Kirby treatment, where everyone gets angry eyes, because on the American releases of Kirby, the box art, Kirby has gone from happy expression to an angry expression, and the same is true of the in-game graphics in Ristar. What else did they change? They changed all the planets' names. They removed the names of the treasures that you find in every level for Mega Drive. What else? They changed the opening plot bit and added a text scroll, and they changed the ending to match it a bit. Where now there's a character introduced who is Ristar's dad, who was known as a hero, and then Ristar is his son, instead of being some cosmic entity sent by the star goddess or whatever. They also changed the graphics for one boss because it was based on a Japanese idiom. It was a big pun, but it didn't translate, so instead of a robot cat, it changed into an icy goo monster. And in both cases, you feed them a hot curry. The idea being, in Japanese, there's a thing where if someone can't take spicy foods, you say they have a cat's tongue. And that's just a cultural idiom that really doesn't translate, so yeah. They changed it to an ice beast that melted from the curry. Oh, okay, the drums, of course. Yeah, this is all pretty familiar from the Mega Drive one as well. The spikes, the bouncing drums, all the setups of this stage, so... let me see, was I done with the revisional differences? I think so. Want. That's gonna disappear by the time I get back up there. Oh well. We'll keep going with save states. Or rewinds. By the way, Alice Kagamino not only directed the game and was the system programmer, they also programmed the sound system under a different pseudonym. So whoever's credited us that in the credits is the same person. Ah. Aha, I got the Saturn. Yes. Sega Saturn Shiro. Ah! Oh, that was the end. Right, I just walked out instead of using the pole to fling myself higher. Didn't get any height bonus. Oh well. Yeah, definitely, Gibbon. This is the world that most reminds of Rayman, indeed. Because of Bandland, of course, which was a world in the original Rayman. Sort of called back to in Origins with the Didgeridoo Desert, which was fantastic as well. Yes. Okay, and this is all very familiar as well. So, yeah, it's clear to me at this point that you know, JSH were being provided with some of these ROMs or footage of the game, and as the director said, they had to reproduce everything by ear and by eye. They weren't given the source code, but they've done a great job of it so far. And in terms of the design of things, it looks like they've based certain planets on what had been done by the Mega Drive team, but they were given some freedom to fill in the gaps where, oh boy, yeah, where the Mega Drive one hadn't been done yet. They filled it in with their own unique stuff, which is really cool. The other development tidbit that I recall reading from those tweet translations, Ristar can't dock in this version, that's throwing me off a little bit. Yeah, the other tidbit was that they were requested to change the audience graphics in this scene because the way the people sitting in the background looked, apparently it could be interpreted as looking like 666, and they were concerned about that, about the visuals of that. So they had to change how they looked. I don't think there's any record of what that looks like. Oh man. I remember getting a lot of mileage out of the grabbing invincibility to avoid those projectiles that fall down on the Mega Drive version. It's not as much of a factor here. Okay, cool. And these feathers are going to stop my arms. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, there's a few bosses that do this sort of hover high up on the stage, just out of your reach, and they'll bob down slightly, and you got to try and grab them in that time. It's really a cool little thing. Yeah, so I didn't mention it, but that bird, when it starts singing, the music gets all distorted, which is a fun little touch, because it's a really bad singer, and it's taken the spot of the bird who was supposed to be performing there, which isn't really clear in this version, I guess, but on Mega Drive there's another bird that gets kicked off the perch and then is sitting on the side of the screen crying. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so what they said was that the initial prototype they were showing was 1/3 complete, but they got updates as they continued, and the team at Sega would show them more of the game as they did it. So what's this? This is new. There's a timer here. Okay, I've got 10 seconds to do something. Is this bomb gonna explode if I don't? Okay, yep. Initially I thought this might be a sort of Winter Olympics bobsledding thing, but no, it's a bomb timer. Looks like I made it by jumping into the water there, and it, what do you call it, neutralized the bomb. Oh, we've got our first swimming stage. So the swimming planet, the water planet, was the second planet on Mega Drive. But actually it looks like in this version you don't swim at all. You just have changed normal jumping physics. So I fall to the bottom and then I can jump a bit higher than normal. That's interesting. No swimming at all. I can't say I'm going to miss the swimming from the Mega Drive version. It was probably among my least favorite parts, but you know, that's to be expected. Swimming sections are always the worst in games, so by all means remove them. I just really want this treasure chest, so I'm coming back for it. Ah, nuts. Yeah, it was health. That's cool. Oh no, another bomb, and it's still at 310. Okay, it's reset to 20. Nice. Good. Nope. So yeah, there was a nice planet on Mega Drive, but this whole bomb setup, that's all new. What do I do here? Oh. I go here. Ouch. Get a bit of speed off those slopes, although it didn't actually help me there. Yeah, sliding on the ice, that's familiar as well. Oh, speaking of familiar things, you know what I haven't done is actually taken the time to sit for a second and let Ristar do an idle animation. He has a unique one for every planet he comes to. So we've actually missed a few of them now, but yeah, the developer also talks about this and how there's over 300 different animations, or they say patterns, which I'm not sure if that means frames of animation or complete animations, but it took a lot of RAM or memory or something. Sorry, I'm not a developer. Yeah, it took a lot of bits because there were 300, but they only could get 256, you know, in the manner of binary systems. And that was a programming challenge for them that they managed to overcome, so good on them. Oh yeah, you can't grab icy walls. I can grab these poles. Grabbing the poles reminds me of BC Kit, actually. I really ought to play that on stream sometime. I planned a retrospective playthrough of the whole series at some point and never really got around to it. Cool. But yeah, that's something you can do in Super BC Kit, is grab poles with your teeth and like spin around them. Spin around poles, that's what I think of when I see that. I'm sure there must be other examples though. Spinning around poles. Spinning around poles. Nothing's coming to mind, but I don't know. Let me know if you think of something. Oh. Gibbon's actually saying that compared to swimming in the Mega Drive version, this is actually worse, but still not as bad as Sonic. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, that is exactly how water works in Sonic, is that you fall through it and then you have slower jumps. But you also drown in Sonic. I don't believe that's a mechanic in this game, thankfully. So, as you say, not as bad. And yeah, it looks like they're going with the bomb thing again on stage 2. So that's the new gimmick here. On Mega Drive, the gimmick was mostly a lot of sliding on ice, which was pretty annoying to deal with. Although you're not wrong, the swimming in Ristar actually wasn't bad. And you can still use your arms to grapple. Oh, okay. We're in the Castlevania Clock Tower now, apparently. Oh yeah, the walls, of course. Climbing walls is really satisfying. It's like wall jumps, like you can do in, you know, Rockman X and Zero. Really good stuff. Just gems? I don't need gems. You know, people in the Game Club chat were talking about how they would come check out this stream, but I don't see any of them here now, do I? Oh well. If you are here, speak up, please. They're probably too busy watching GDQ. Not that I blame them. It's SGDQ, supporting Doctors Without Borders. So please go check it out and consider donating to a very worthy cause. Whoops. Oh well. I don't think I can get up there. Oh well, rewind. So what does that wizard thing do? Does it change stars on screen into blobs? I'm not gonna find out. Yes, I am. It does. That's what it does. That's clever. Little trick. Do I have to backtrack now? That sucks. I guess I only have to backtrack as far as that pole. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Oh, I just love that. Flying like mad out of a spin. That's a lot of fun. What's going on? Oh, I gotta grab downwards? Yeah, okay. So you can go directly down if you're in midair. Oh, okay. Otherwise, you can also go diagonally down. Okay, cool. Ah, 5 seconds. Oh no. Ah. Oh, I lost 1 health. I was gonna say, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, but it wasn't even that big a deal. 1 health. I could survive that. Okay. Oh, Gibbon. I beat Another Eden this morning. That's a game that we've both been playing on and off on our phones. Oh, I'm gonna leave the stage with this bomb. I'm just gonna... Yep, there we go. There was a pool of water, but I didn't jump in it. I didn't need that. Well, I say beat it. I got to the credits, and then after the credits, I got a little pop-up saying, you cleared Another Eden Part 1. So there's a lot more to the game, and then there was like an epilogue, and then like, oh, let's go do more stuff. So I feel like it's a jumping off point if the player feels like they want it to be, but there's also the potential for more gameplay after that. But yeah, I've played it a lot already, and I'm at about level 50-ish with my characters. So I might put it down for now and maybe come back later after some updates, because they're always updating the game, keeping it fresh. By the way, I've talked about this game on stream before, but it's a successor to Chrono Trigger, really. A couple of the same developers. It really reuses a similar concept with 3 different eras to travel between with time machines and such. And it even has the exact same outside of time area thing. What do you call it? You know, where you meet the guru guy and there's a lamppost and some like cobblestones in the void, basically. It's exactly the same. So it really is a Chrono Trigger sequel in all but name, because Square Enix owns the trademark. And it was actually released on like that Chrono Break fan project, or no, what was it? Chrono Resurrection, I think? There've been a few fan projects that Square has brought the hammer down on 99% of the way through their development. By the way, this boss, all new. Yeah, weird numbers floating in space inside an hourglass. That's a really cool setup. It freezes time, it's a rabbit. Yep, all that completely new for this version. So I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, the sand being a slippery surface, that's a really fun idea. So good job. Yeah, good job, Japan System House. Yes. Gibbon says he's about 75% of the way through the vanilla campaign and should get back to it. Yeah, I think you got distracted by a Persona complete series playthrough, didn't you? He says he's done a ton of the side stories. So have I. Whenever I unlock a character, I do all their quests. Although not all of them. I do the initial quest, and then you got to get them to level 30 to do the next quest, so I just skip that one and ignore it. But yeah, there's a lot of side stuff to do in it, which I've been enjoying as well. He's saying there's 2 main story expansions on the way that are about double the size of the main story. Good grief. Where could it even go from here? I feel like they wrapped up... Well, there is sort of a hook, like a sequel hook there. It's odd having a sequel within the same game. What other games do that? Lufia 2 kind of does that, but it's more like the first bit as a prologue to the rest of the story. This feels like I've done a full game at this point, and now there's another full game waiting afterwards. Gibbon says he's waiting on a console port, which they announced, but has been a bit quiet ever since. I don't really know how it'd work on consoles, to be honest. It relies pretty heavily on... It's a free-to-play game with gacha elements, and they're all optional. I did find that the main characters, you couldn't like upgrade them beyond a certain point, so it was actually better to use characters that you gain through the gacha, because they'd be able to progress further in their ability board. The main story characters kind of got stuck at a certain point. But yeah, it really lets you customize your team. It's a bit like Chrono Cross in that way. There's about 100 different characters you could pick from. Oh, was that a kind of a racist stereotype? Yeah, you do see this in Japanese games from time to time. Oh, now it's breathing fire at me. Yes, dark skin, big red lips. Not a great look. Hold on. Slip in here. Okay, extra life. That's fine. That's new for this version, by the way, those character designs. They were not in the Mega Drive one. I remember this setup, though. Going through these one-way spike things and then climbing a bit. Yeah, oh, well, this relies on wall climbing, so of course they must have known that wall climbing would be done. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about before. I do feel like it does break at least one section of the game to climb a wall, but you definitely need to do it there if you don't want to die. So, yeah, they do expect it of you. Ouch. Okay. Oh! I can extend my arms down, but not up again. See them here? Oh, okay. They do it on their own. I don't remember that being such a thing on the Mega Drive version. But this whole section seems a bit more elaborate than what I remember. Whee! Okay. I do like that when you're swinging on a rope, any enemies that come past, swinging on a pole, any enemies, you just smash into them and kill them instantly. That's a lot of fun. Go. Whoa. Okay, that was the end of the stage, yeah. And I got way up high, so big bonus. Hooray. Gibbon is telling me... Yeah, he says he's interested in how they adjust that element, being the gacha stuff, the free-to-play stuff, how that gets converted on a console game. By the way, I could have got to the point I am without spending any money, but I chose to get one of the in-app purchases to support the developer and etc. because I played it so much. But it's really not necessary to spend any. You do get the currency as you play, and then you can use that on gacha pools. But it's not like you're trying to collect them all, or really trying to get specific people. You get like some from the 100 characters that I mentioned, and you just pick your favorites from there. You end up with a lot just by playing through it. But he's telling me that some of the side story updates they put out automatically give you the items needed to progress the main story characters' job boards. And that is news to me. So I don't recall some of the side story updates automatically give you. Because, yeah, you do get some items as you go through the side stories. Huh. Maybe I ought to go to that particular NPC at the end of time and see if I do have those items, because if I got them I might not have noticed, because there's just so many little items that appear in that game. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of that particular idle animation. What's going on here? Right. You gotta use a directional arrow. That's not a thing that you had to do in the Mega Drive. Ah, the rabbit is back. Hello, rabbit. Oh! Now it's a scary rabbit. I'm just gonna leave you behind. Ow! You know what, I know this stage is hard, so I'm gonna need my health. But yeah, this stage was in the Mega Drive version. With a similar kind of gimmick. You find crystals to power up teleporters that then move you to the next room. And as I recall, this was actually near the end of the game, so if there's only really one unique planet, that's a little disappointing, but still. I enjoyed that one completely different planet that was not in the Mega Drive version that they have here. And at least, like I said, all the other stages have new gameplay mechanics and such. Oh, that was close. is my computer heating up, speeding up its fan? Oh, I see, my backups are going. Hold on, let me pause that. Pause. I normally do that in my stream prep and I forgot. Ah. Okay, what do I do here? Drop here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but another Eden, good game. Give it a try. It's free to play. Has a nice little art style with sort of animation almost like your characters are puppets and they have little bodies and big heads and it's cute. But it's, yeah, really nice hand-drawn art. I had some issues with the character designs, especially some of the female characters, and you should also know that they're definitely not Akira Toriyama designs the way that Chrono Trigger was. But then Chrono Cross wasn't either, so it's just different. But yeah, it's a nice little game. Adapted well for a mobile interface, I would say, for the most part. Some of the menus are a bit fiddly. Oh, I should do pixel art of those characters. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, I'll do that. Look forward to that. How do I get that? Got my satin. Segata Sanshiro would be proud. And yeah, I got hurt, but I'm just assuming I'll get health at some point. I'm being a lot more rewind happy than I was when I played the Mega Drive version. Although that's slightly down to technical reasons. I do own Ristar on a number of platforms since I have a couple of the Mega Drive software collections they've put out over the years. But I actually ended up playing it on my Raspberry Pi emulation station, which is a nice new thing that my spouse made me for my birthday. She programmed it, put it together, got a controller for it and everything, set it all up. It was wonderful. And it works really well. Except for the time I accidentally saved over the wrong save state and had to replay a whole planet. Yeah, I gotta ignore that rocket bird. Oh, happy Lufia Day. Thank you, Gibbon. Yeah, that was yesterday, I believe. What is that, the anniversary of the release of Fortress of Doom or something? Or is it an in-game event? Because sometimes that happens. Oop. Map. The caveman enemies seem a little out of place for the weapon world, the mechanized world. Oh well. Yeah, I was just saying before how another Eden is slightly similar to Lufia in the plot progression, but that's an exaggeration. Never mind. Oh, you would have been here for that, yeah. What do I do here? Jump across. Cool. See you there. Yeah, got him. Oh. I didn't expect I would fall into that hole. Yes, June 25th release date. Don't know what territory that is, but yeah, happy Lufia Day, everyone. Great RPG series on the Super Famicom and the Game Boy Color. There's also a Game Boy Advance entry, but yeah, you can skip that one. It's a side story by intention. Notice there haven't really been any star pickups for a while. Maybe because they were hewing closer to the way the Mega Drive level is structured. Yeah, these enemies are new for sure. Okay, that's good. Notice some graphics being redrawn that were on the left side of the screen on the right. That's just a side effect of the Master System conversion. I think overall it's been a pretty good experience to have this conversion. Although we can see those bolt sprites popping in. So this boss is the same. They're gonna drop things from that machine onto the robot guy. He throws them at me. Okay, he's just taking damage. Okay, so there was a mechanic on the Mega Drive version where you would hit the robot and it would fall over. Oh no, okay, so they're doing it. Yep, come on. Okay, so I gotta hit this guy a few times until he turns grey and freezes. Okay, yep. Still gonna charge up that mega shot. And I can interrupt the grabbing of these items. Okay, so now when the hand comes down, you hit it, make it fall onto the robot, and that's what does the damage. This is another... Oh, okay. Apparently that's one of the ways to do damage. Alright, done. I feel bad that I forgot some of the names of the Sinistrals last week. But I do love Lufia a lot. Oh, and I didn't even mention the DS game, which is an action RPG remake of Lufia 2, and is quite good. Although it really does its own thing and gets away from the style of the previous games in terms of gameplay and aesthetic and everything. Yes, throwing upwards. Was there a lift in the Mega Drive game? Can I grab these walls? I cannot. Seeing that one unique planet, the second planet, made me wish that more of this game was just completely made up by the JSH people. At least we got that unique boss for the Ice World. The rabbit in the hourglass. What's going on here? I'm doing something wrong, clearly. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, what's the trick here? Same? Nope. We'd better keep full health, I don't know. I had a lot of trouble with the final boss, to be honest, on Mega Drive. Used lots of save states. Found his attack patterns were really, really difficult to get through. Yeah, okay. Ah. Foolish. Okay. Oh, we're going down now. Ow! Oh, the mole boss is here. Okay. Are we getting a boss rush of bosses that weren't otherwise used? This guy appeared earlier in the Mega Drive game. Okay. That's odd. Okay, I avoided damage, that's good. Oh, now we're just falling, free falling. That's cool. Wait, when did I get hurt? I swear I avoided that. I didn't though, did I? Oh. Yeah, this is one of those bosses that flies up high. Sometimes it gets low enough for you to hit him. wonder if I can bounce off these hooks. Yep. Oh, I could maybe do that. You know what? Cheap. Aw. Whatever. I feel like it's impossible to hit the boss at that point. Come on. Aw. Hold on. Yes. I knew that should be possible. With cheating. Yeah, it's not so easy to do a complete playthrough of an RPG series for an anniversary. Although I'm sure some people would. Like Sinravi. She is amazing. She's the biggest Lufia fan on the internet. If you ever want to ask something about Lufia, go ask Sinravi. What? Okay, it's throwing bombs now. Yes. Feels good. There's some good boss design in this game. Well, you know, this one is taken from the Mega Drive game. By this game, I guess I meant the whole Ristar project. I did it accidentally. It's just natural to think Ristar when you see it, isn't it? It's tripped up a lot of people. People who don't understand how Japanese language works. But, you know, equally they probably can't read it, so can't blame them too much. It's the people who are willfully ignorant that annoy me. Like, wow. Like you say, Japanese is a phonetic language. If something is spelt in one way, it can only be pronounced in one way. Yes, this also happens in the Mega Drive game. Oh, okay. But in the Mega Drive game, when you defeat the boss, it turns into a tiny little mole creature who still tries to attack you, but the attacks are completely ineffective. It's like a joke. But now, it actually does hurt you in this version. Okay, well, that's that. But yeah, speaking of Ristar, you can actually see on the cover art for the Japanese version, they spell out the name of the game and the character right there on the cover. You don't even have to go further than the cover. Oh, okay. So on Mega Drive, if you get right up close to the gun, that's enough to avoid the shot that's coming out. But apparently not in this version. How do I avoid it in this version? Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. Can I interrupt it? It looks like I can interrupt it. Okay, it's different. So yeah, these look like the same attack patterns, really. So grab the gun. What? Yeah. Okay, on Mega Drive it just felt like you grab the shielded thing enough times and it just falls over eventually. But it might be something to do with when you do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't know. Just keep grabbing it, I think, is the solution for this boss. And then when it falls over, then you do a bit of damage. Whoops. Trying to avoid the boomerangs. There we go. Kaboom! Alright. So the unique content seems to have dried up in this version. Oh well, that's fine. I'm telling you, I did not pause the game just now. It did it on its own. Okay, so here's the final boss, Greedy. What are we at? An hour 15 we've been going. Instead of 5 orbs, it's 3 orbs. Fair enough. What? So you get less invincibility in this game from a bounce. Cool. What you gonna do? Same attack patterns? Yep, this one's the same. Oh, those explosions linger a little longer than I expected. The trick is grabbing straight up to get maximum grab height, while also moving across towards them. Nuts. Well, I got plenty of time. This game turned out to be a little short. There we go. Good hit. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, and hitting this guy knocks off a little blob. He hasn't yet done the trouble attack pattern that really got me real good on Mega Drive. Nah. Which is where he disappears and then appears, shoots lightning down at you, and it's really hard to avoid. Okay, this is another one. This is similar to the Tapir's attack pattern actually, which I thought at the time they'd kind of adapted from this final boss pattern. But yeah, he pulls open a black hole and sucks you in, but you can actually interrupt your sliding momentum by grabbing, and then you won't slide as much. But you also have to deal with the two. He exploded. Okay. There was a small explosion. It must have been a blob. Oops. Yeah, it's easy to get sucked in, and that's an instant kill, by the way, if you're wondering. And they put you back there with it paused, which is odd. I don't know why that is. Yeah, we've seen it so far, haven't we? Where the sort of death animation, where when you lose your last star of health, it actually falls down from the UI and hits Ristar in the head. That's kind of cute. Just pointing that out. Haven't seen that yet. Oof. Yeah, using the grab is much more necessary in this version, it looks like. Okay, that's it. That's it, but it's actually much less dangerous in this version. I'm really appreciative of that. You can't hit Greedy when he's doing that. It's really hard to avoid. You have to be moving across, and then you also have to move back so that you have enough space so you're not just running into a wall. It's really hard to avoid that lightning thing in the Mega Drive version. That was my big trouble spot for this boss. I'm really glad it's more forgiving on this version. See that? Very easy to avoid. Very friendly. Also, he did it like 4 times, and then after taking a hit, he did it like 6 times in a row. So you really had to be ducking and weaving back and forward to get enough horizontal space to not, run out of room in this room, which again is smaller in this version because of the screen size, but despite that, because of how it works, it's easier to avoid, funnily enough. Yeah. So, thumbs up for Game Gear. Next, yeah, okay, and I can also hit him out of it, or no, that's right. If he hits you with the lightning, he'll stop the pattern. You either avoid it like 4 or 6 times in a row, whatever it is, or you get hit by it and he'll stop. And then he'll appear somewhere else. Ah. He's just out of reach. It's pretty annoying. Gotta sit through all these patterns. It's a shame that my arm stretching sounds are overriding the music. Surely he's grabbable at this stage. No, that's how bosses are supposed to work. You avoid their attack and then they're vulnerable, right? When is he vulnerable? See, this is tricky because if you grab the enemy and you bounce back the other way, you actually get sent further towards the black hole and then it's inescapable. But if you're on this side and bounce in the opposite direction, you're better off. I wonder if I can... Yeah, that's the key. Get as far as you can and really spam that grab move. Oh, come on. Alright, now surely I can grab him out of this if I time it right. Yes! Okay, so I tried on Mega Drive, I really tried to grab him while he was thunderbolting me, but I could never seem to do it. Maybe it's possible, but it's much more doable in this version. Yes. Just gotta time it. That's it! That's it! Greedy is down. And that should be the game completed. Kaboom. I do love that he swings around and uses that to travel between planets. Magic. Yeah, so you're the kind and wonderful people who made the game. Mostly pseudonyms. But we got some nice art and nice little animations. Aww. He's sleeping with the tapir. That's nice. See, these are going to be different because we had some different bosses. A lot of the enemy graphics are the unique ones. And the little dynamites. Ah, those birds are reused. Hey, the rabbit. Yes, Pixie Monty. I missed the sound programmer. Which was the secondary pseudonym for Captain Alice. Oh no, there it is. Kazune Hiiragi. And I guess project director Captain Jinguji is another pseudonym for Alice Kagamino. Because they admitted in that Twitter thread that that was them as well. I really like this credit song, actually. Let's look over my notes. Oh yeah, one of the other changes from the Japan to international version of the Mega Drive game was that a lot of cheat codes got removed. So that's another reason to play the Japanese version if you want more strange codes. And I don't think I said who made this conversion hack, because I do want to thank them. I appreciate all those Game Gear to Master System hacks, because they often make a game nicer to play in some way. So the original hack was made by Next Volume, but then afterwards updates were published by Revo and BCN Able 76. So you can find this conversion hack and many others like it at smspower.org. So this obviously is a conversion of this ending screen is an adaptation of the Japanese Mega Drive version's ending screen, whereas the international version gets a different ending screen. I don't know if the Game Gear international version has a different ending screen. That sentence was way too stupid and complicated. But yeah, that's it for the game. Since we're here, why don't I real quick show you what the original looked like at least. I can do that. How do I get my window back? Oh, Option Command 1. So I'll give you a screen here. Ba-doop-ba-doop-doo-doo. That one. So apparently I played through to the second... Did I? No, I couldn't have done that. I must have done this with a password. Why is this at the second world? I don't know. Anyway. This is what the original release looked like. So it's a bit cleaner, clearly. You don't have junk at the sides of the screen. But you don't have as much view of the nice scenery. Although it was a little distracting when the scenery doubled up and stuff. So you know what? Maybe it was a big mistake to play the Master System version. I should have just done the original release. Let me know what you think in the comments. Whatever. I don't care. I do like comments, but I'm not going to beg for them. I appreciate all my viewers. I love you very much. But yeah, here we are. This is what the original release looked like if you're curious. And yeah, I don't know. I finished the game, so you can all go back to watching SGDQ now. Thank you for your time. Yeah, but this was fun. So I'm debating whether to go off the back of this and play some Sonic games on stream or in general. But at the same time, I'm also thinking about playing Mega Man games. I just published my big pixel art thing I've been working on for a while, where Roll was pictured along with a bunch of other female characters from the series, and Robot Masters who are women. There's a few of those. There's 8. Or possibly more. I could have scraped the barrel more and gotten a few more out of, you know, other sources, but I managed to get a good selection there. But yeah, let's leave off now, I guess, in this original planet stage that was new for the Game Gear version, which I appreciated very much. Oh, and a rainbow, of course. It's still Pride Month, so hooray! Pride Month. LGBTQI+ Pride. Love you all. Okay, bye-bye. See you next time.